Okay. Well, welcome everybody and greetings. Thank you for taking some time out on your Thursday night to be with us this evening. It's really lovely to have you here, and I'm glad that you are going to be staying for hopefully a full hour and you can hear more about Mindfit. So the program that I want to introduce you to is called The Awakening, and I'm really, really excited about it because it's the first level program that I've just given to 11, now 12 of our coachees. In other words, people who are wanting to train as coaches. So this level 1, which is now called Awakening, is exactly the same training as the coachees would have got. And why I'm so excited about it is I really felt that it was a time for people right now to hear what it is that they can have as a tool, an ability, a gift to live the best life that they possibly could. And I know you've probably heard that millions of times. I really want to express to you that what I'm going to teach you is not a concept. It's more of a principle. Principles are things that are truth, like the principle of gravity is a truth. These principles that the Mindfit Coaching Academy is based on, and particularly in Awakening, is absolutely the truth of how life works. And we've all come through a time on this planet where we've been led to believe that there are certain things that if we don't get and we don't achieve, we have not been successful. This program is really about fulfillment. Somebody asked me the other day, what is the thing that you feel will give you success? And my answer was to be happy and contented. Does it mean that I don't like money? Absolutely not. I love to make money. I love what money can do, but it's not the most important thing to me, because what's the point of having all of those things, the stuff, the form, the riches, when internally you are not feeling able to live your life the best way? When I say the best way, I really feel that if we understand how the human psyche works, and that's what Awakening is all about, helping you to understand how the human psyche works so that you are not second guessing yourself every time you don't feel good, every time you feel like you failed, every time you feel sad or down or depressed or whatever that emotion is that you're feeling. Most of the time that's natural and it's probably normal. And here's the thing, and I'm going to say a statement, and I think I'd love to elaborate on that over the next couple of minutes, is we live in a world where we are feeling our thinking. Now, it sounds so weird to hear that, and I'm going to try and explain it to you in several different ways. What I mean by that is we all think that what we see out there in the world, what's going on in the world, that person, that job, that set of circumstances is the thing or the people that is creating the way that I feel. So in other words, I was having a perfectly ordinary, beautiful day until I got the phone call and this person said this, or I was driving in the traffic and someone cut me off and then I had this feeling, or somebody did something to me. That's how we feel. And so that has made me express in this way. I'm here to tell you that that is not true. That is not true. It's not the stuff that's happening out there that is creating the feeling that you are having in here. It is absolutely the other way around, okay? It's the way you think about the thing that's happening. It's the way you perceive it. And I'll explain it to you like this. You put on a set of lenses, a set of glasses, and depending on what lens you are using to look through, that is the way that you will perceive life. So a very easy way to understand that is, if you wake up in the morning and it's a really rainy day, like the wind is blowing in the Cape, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. The wind's blowing, the rain is pouring, it's cold. And for you, that really feels like an awful day. Like, this is not what I wanted. I wanted it to be sunny. I wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to have a picnic. And now look at this weather. So it feels like the weather is upsetting you. And the other person on the same day, in the same place, could wake up, see the rain and the wind, and he could maybe be some kind of a farmer who knows that post that wind and that rain, there's going to be a lovely soaking of his crops, and that's exactly what he needs at that time. For him, that's a perfect day. Same weather, same day, but two totally different outlooks on what that weather represents for that person. So it can't possibly be the circumstance that's creating the feeling. It's the way the person is perceiving the circumstance or the situation that is actually creating the feeling. This is most easily expressed in our personal relationships. It's where you get triggered the most, the people that you're the most close to, your loved ones. And you think it's them, it's the behavior. You just want them to change the way they do things, and then you'll be okay. Now, anytime we feel that somebody else or some situation or circumstance needs to change so that we feel better, so that we feel good, that is absolutely the wrong way that it works. So in the world of personal development and psychology and psychiatry and therapy and all of those worlds, we've always had this idea that we need to fix something. Something's broken. Something needs to be fixed. The person needs to be fixed. The situation needs to be fixed. I'm not denying that some situations are not perfect. We could look at the planet at the moment and we see what's going on, and we understand that, wow, it's really not going all that well. But for some people who have basically looked at the situation, pivoted their businesses, made a change, taken a new direction, created something else out of what seems to be a really awful situation, for them, it's not that bad. For others, it's really awful. Does it make it good or bad or right or wrong? Well, actually, it makes it just what it is. It's neither, and it's both. And again, it depends on the lens that you are looking at. So what I really want to share with you tonight is what awakening is all about. And if you read any of the marketing material or the little posts we sent, or the little blurbs that we sent, we've said there that you already have everything that you need. You already have that. The world will tell you that there's some stuff that you haven't got, that you still need to do this and you still need to have that. Well, you may want to do that and have that, but that's not essential for your well-being. It's not essential for your mental health. It really, really isn't. You came with a certain way about you, kind of like the most incredible piece of a diamond, a shiny diamond. And that diamond that you have inside of you, which is the perfect, faceted, polished part of you, will never change. You came with it. It's still with you. It will stay with you. And when you go one day, that will still be a part of you. That part of you is absolutely exactly what it needs to be. You are not broken. You do not need fixing or rehabilitation or polishing. What has happened over time is this diamond, think of that diamond as the internal core of who you are. Over time, you've packed on a few layers in your innocence because of situations and circumstances in your life. So it feels painful, and so you protect yourself. You create a new belief system, something that will protect you, something that will make you feel safe. That's not wrong. Given the thinking that you have at the time, that was exactly what you felt you needed to do. Not wrong. But then, after a while, that thing no longer serves you. So now you've got a layer upon layer of fear, of anxiety, of worry. And it seems like out there, those are the things that are creating all of the fear, the worry, the anxiety, and the pain. But it is simply not true. You are living in a world where you are feeling the thing that you're thinking about, which is creating an emotion, not the other way around. It's an inside out thing, not an outside in thing. Let me give you an example. Outside in is where you look at, let's say, a very current situation, COVID. COVID is making me feel this way. COVID is not something we can see. It's a virus, but it's invisible. It's creating certain manifestations in the body, But the way that people are looking at it is creating a lot of fear in their minds. I'm not saying that that's wrong or right. What I am saying is, if you really take a moment to step away from that, you'll see that it's the stories that you are telling yourself because of the stories you hear. Not denying that there isn't a virus, not denying that it's creating what it's creating, but the level in which you experience what it is doing to you is completely up to you. And again, not that you're wrong. If you are in fear, that's not wrong. What I'm saying is it helpful? Is it going to give you what you need to create the life that you want, regardless of the situation? We could get a COVID strain 525 for all we know. Things can happen over and over again. We've seen the world go through 9/11. We've watched the economic collapse of so many countries. We've seen businesses fall. We've seen all of this. There are still some people who, in spite of the most dire circumstances, are still fine. I'll give you another great example. If you've ever read the book Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, he explains in that book, he was a Jewish man who survived Auschwitz. Not many people did, but he did. And in his book, he talks about watching all of his family and his friends be put to death. And he had a turning point. There was a moment in his life where he just saw the reality for what it was, that the people were so frightened and so scared that they would be put to death, that they almost were dead before they got into the gas chamber. They lived a life, even although it was an awful life, they lived in a way that was just so debilitating to them. And he said in his book as well, he felt that by the time he got out of Auschwitz, the thing that kept him alive was that he saw the truth of the fact that what he was witnessing was no worse than what he was thinking. Amazing. And he basically had, I'm not sure I could do it, he basically looked at those people and saw that they also, all of those perpetrators, those who were hurting and harming, had the same thing as him. At their core, there was something that was very, very pure and very, very good. They had just had all of the indoctrination and the brainwashing to believe that the people that they were executing were wrong or bad or wicked or not supposed to be there. And that manipulation actually was strong enough to create something in the minds of the people who did the deeds. But he could see through that. And there have been multiple people who've seen through that over the years. So I'm here to tell you the truth of the matter is that regardless of what's going on out there, you do not have to always fall foul of all of the ideas, the concepts, and the beliefs of what's going on out there. I'm not saying that they're wrong, and I'm not saying that they're right. I'm saying that there's something so unique about you, so special about you. You have a unique thumbprint. We all do. Nobody else in the whole world has got that. You are so unbelievably unique. You are here for a definite purpose. And if you're still listening to me, it means that you still need, there's something that you still are going to do. And you may or may not know that. It's irrelevant. If you want to get to the place where you're living in a peaceful space, and peace is a state of mind. Peace is a state of mind. Let's look at one of our heroes in South Africa, Nelson Mandela. Whatever we thought, the man was incarcerated for 27 years, came out and changed the nation. He could have come out with all of the thinking that he was caught up in and have a vengeful thought or some kind of other thought that what would not have turned out well for South Africa, but he didn't. He had some kind of idea that there could be healing. And that's very different today. I understand that, but there was an impact that he made. And of course, we go through that cycle. It's just inevitable. Here's the thing. We have up feelings and we have down feelings, and we have up feelings and we have down feelings. When you are in the up feeling, wonderful. It looks like life is beautiful, rosy. It looks like you've got your rose-colored glasses on. But when we have the down feelings, everything is wrong. Here's what I want you to know. You will naturally autocorrect, self-correct from the down to the up. This is what most people go through every single day. You wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, it's late. I'm going to be late for work. Then you're in the traffic, and this person is such an idiot. I need to get my coffee. I wonder what my boss is going to say. I wonder what my staff will say. And so you go through all of these things. Oh my goodness, look at that beautiful tree. That woman looks lovely. I love the way she's dressed. So we all of these different ideas. And so we go through all of these things as we go through our day. Not a problem. Up and down, like a heartbeat. Natural and okay. Nothing to fix. Here's the problem. If you wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm going to be late for work, I mustn't forget my copy, these stupid people are cutting me off. And you know, the state of our land is these taxi drivers and the way that they do this and the way people do that. Now you've hooked onto something. You're hanging onto an idea about how people drive. And that thing, if you stay with it long enough, it's going to create this little expression of emotion that doesn't feel good. Now, if you just let it go, if you take your hands, kind of, not if you're driving, but off the wheel of trying to control that, it will naturally pass. Here's what most people do. This is terrible. I need to fix it. I'm so stupid. I do this every day. Now you're beating yourself up. Now you've amplified the feeling. Now it's getting worse for you. And as it progressively gets worse, you feel worse about it. And now you are convinced it's because of that thing that happened out there. And that's not the truth. It's what's happening in here. Always. It's never what's happening out there. And over the years, I've seen that there is no exception to that rule. And I know you're probably thinking, what? Me too. I had the same feeling when I first heard it. And then I started just to notice, wow, I'm making all these stories up. I made up the story about the way that person behaves and that they're trying to do that to me. I've made up the story about the fact that every winter I get flu. I just make it up. And the more you make up the stories, you make them up, then you live in the way that you want to confirm the made-up story. And then when it doesn't work out, then you beat yourself up about the made-up story that you made up in the first place that wasn't even real. Wasn't even real. Have you ever been in a conversation with anybody where you start saying, you know, this person really should be doing this, and I wonder why they don't do that, and I wonder if they haven't seen that? So we make up ideas of how we believe other people should be living their lives. And then one day we forget that we ever said that, and they're living their lives and like, wow, amazing. Wasn't because of you, the fact that you thought they should change. They did it all on their own. What I want you to do from this point on, whether you join Awakening or not, and I'm going to tell you about the program in a minute, I want you to start to just notice how you feel whenever you are interacting with another person and you're not fully present. But what I mean by that is you're somewhere else, you're thinking about other things, but you're not engaging. You're not right there in the moment, in the now, fully present with that person. Amazing things happen when you're fully present and you haven't got all this stuff on your mind. What we do is we kind of feel like we've got to get through it, and we white knuckle our way through it. I will make this happen no matter what. I will fix this no matter what. And that's the wrong way to go about it, because you are so human, but you are also spiritual. We can't separate those two. They live together. It's the different sides of the same coin. And once you felt that idea of, oh my word, I just made that up, and you see it pass naturally, you'll never, ever want to live any other way. And that's why I love this program, because it is something that will take you through every facet of your life, not just through your relationships, not your business, not your money, not your circumstances, not your health. You will begin to see the truth of it. You will begin to see that you already have everything you need. And all of that is enough for you. And yes, you might want to learn, you might want to grow, you might want to stretch. Nothing wrong with that. You might want to set goals. Nothing wrong with that. The problem comes in when you start to overthink the fact that it should have happened already and you haven't achieved the goal. When you start to overthink the fact that that person isn't helping you and they should have. All the should-haves, would-haves, could-haves are the thing that create the suffering. Here's the secret. And I give it to you in one statement. If you get this, you could leave this call now and live a happy life and never, ever try and do anything about understanding. If you are okay with whatever turns up, the secret to happiness is being okay with whatever turns up. Quite tough, but that's the secret. Are we? Are we okay with whatever turns up? We want to change it. We want to fix it. We look out there and we're like, no. Well, have you tried to control it? You may as well try and stop the rain. Try to do that. It just doesn't work because it's not in your control. It's just not. The thoughts you have are often not in your control. They kind of drop into you. Have you noticed that? You're just like randomly doing something and then you get this thought. Some of those thoughts are good and right, and some of them are not. Some of them are just not real. Why? Because they have been programmed over time into your brain, and now they're kind of hardwired, and it's become a toxic habit of thought. That's all. Now, just because I say that doesn't mean that it needs to be fixed. Your brain is plastic and it will naturally shift and remold itself according to the lens you're putting on to see the world that you want to see, whether it's raining, snowing, hurricanes, whatever, or not. You do not have to be in a state where you are anxious or worried or scared. And if you are, that's okay. You don't need to try and fix it. It will naturally go away on its own and you will self-correct. You have an inbuilt navigation system. You all do. It's that little nudge, that little, this is the right thing. No, not that. It's that little nudge, that little chatter. Not the one that says to you, you're stupid and you never get anything right. And how did you mess up this time again? Not that one. That is not the voice. That is just the programming. That is how everyone's been programmed or kind of brainwashed to believe. If it didn't go right, if you didn't get it right the way that it should be according to the standards of the world, you have failed. I'm here to tell you that that is BS. That is not the truth. Everyone has a different path. Everybody will navigate this life differently. It's not wrong. It's not right. It just is the way that it is. So I'm not sure if this is landing for you in a way that feels, what? I don't even understand that. And if that's the case, perfect. I would love for you to ask me questions. You can raise your hand. You can just put your hand up. I can see all of you on the screen, except those that have got their camera off. But please, we've got some of our students here that have done the Mindfit program as well. More of them are coming online because they've been out there coaching and teaching. So do you have any questions? Anything you want to ask at all? Anything you want to comment on? Hi, is that Cherry? Is it Cherry? Hi, nice to have you. Thanks for hopping on. So it doesn't matter what you've been through. You do not need fixing at all. Willem, I see you've raised your hand. Yes, please unmute yourself and let's have a question or a comment.
It's not a question. It's more of a observation. So I have been in recovery for just about 2 years, and a lot of the stuff that I used to do, that I've dealt with whilst in rehab, has done me well. But I can relate completely, like to that constant negative thinking, and it's quite prevalent that what you say in terms of the outwards is very often how I get myself into trouble. I immediately create some sort of a situation where it's in my head, and eventually I fall into this pattern of immediately feeling the same emotion the next time I see that person or drive through that place or drive past that place. I can relate, definitely.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Well, that is such a superb example. I love that example because it kind of helps me to understand what you're saying. I like to relate it to if you have a dream. So, say for instance, you have this nightmare about somebody who did something to you, and you have it night after night, and eventually you see the person and you are angry with the person because you had the dream about them, which is not real, but there's some level of, feeling towards them that they don't even know about, but you have started to believe the BS that you made up about them, and now you are living according to that. So what you're explaining, Willem, is so true. It's just the way that you've perceived it because of the story you've made up about it. So we think we have a reality problem. We think, but in reality, we have a thinking problem. That's really what it is. And you've just described that beautifully. So I love that you said that, and, just kudos for being through the rehab. Well done, and for turning up here and for being, vulnerable enough to share that with us. I love that, and it's the honesty that gets us into a place where we can be real, that we can be honest with ourselves when we are honest out there, that we can tell the truth for ourselves. So it's super job for doing that. And thank you for highlighting that. I love that example. Anyone else? Anyone want to make a comment or ask a question? Shall we hear from one or two of our recently graduated from level 1 awakening? Anybody? Any one of you? Have you got some pearls for our people that are on the line tonight? Yes, Nikki.
I'll quickly go because I've got to hop off again.
Yes.
Some of you coach with me that's on this call, and you'll know that I always say that this is the most phenomenal program that you could ever go through, because the moment that you can realize that you are magnificent, that moment your life will change. And this is what this program does. It reminds you that everything you create about yourself and your reality comes from your thoughts. So if anyone has questions, you can reach out to me, get my number from Shannon, but it is the most phenomenal course.
Thank you, Nikki. And from a seasoned coach, I really, really appreciate that. Thanks so much, Nikki. Me too. I've been coaching for 38 years. I've been in this space, 38 years. I have done multiple courses and programs over the years, multiple. I started coaching full-time about 12 or 13 years ago, studied to be a coach about 18 or 19 years ago, was in personal development for literally 38 years. When I came across these principles, I really felt like I had arrived home. I really felt like I'd got to the place where finally all of the missing links for me, all the gaps were closed, because I was constantly adding more noise to noise. What I mean by that is I'd get up early, make sure I exercised, do my green juice, go for whatever, a walk, meditate, journal. It used to take me hours, and I was just creating more noise and I wasn't really getting, it felt so good. But at the minute I hit a downer, everything blew up. When you understand that that is normal life, it's not that you are blowing up, but that you are realizing it's just the state of your thinking that's creating the feeling. And you can't fix your thinking because you're not in control of it. It sometimes randomly drops into you. All you do is notice. And the moment you notice, it dissolves, it dissipates. Thought is flimsy. It's nothing until you put your energy and your focus, and then all of that frequency amplifies and makes it so big. So thank you, Nikki, for saying that. For someone that's also been in personal development for so long, it's like that absolute missing link. And I'm going to give you a few little insider bits of information. On our program, we have someone that our coaches know about who was in the clergy for a very long time. And for somebody in the clergy for over 27 years to say that he never had the answers for people. I'm not knocking anything. Yeah, that's from his mouth. Until he found this, it was the relief. It's that like, because it's exhausting trying to fix yourself all the time. It's exhausting and tiring trying to be positive. I don't like the word positive thinking. I just don't like the word, because it gives you that idea that you have to override, you have to overcome something. And usually you're overriding your wisdom. When you need a rest and you need to lie down and close your eyes and sleep because you are exhausted, but you're pushing through because the world says if you're not worried and you're not working and you're not straining and stressing and you're not going to be successful, you have tried to override your internal self-correcting mechanism that says you are tired, go to sleep. Or that says pick up the phone and make the call. Or that says get on the road and go and do a bit of exercise. That wisdom is built into you. It will never let you down. And that's the most beautiful part of this. It does not matter what you've been through. If you understand that there are principles at work, like the principle of gravity, whether you like the fact that gravity works or not, whether you believe it or not, it's going to work. It's a principle. It's the foundation. Bye-bye, Nikki. Thank you so much. It's a principle that when you understand it, you no longer have to second guess your wisdom, and you'll know that you'll know when it's a clear yes or a clear no. And you might not straight away, but you will eventually. And who's to say the timing is what you think it must be? The timing is the timing. It's being okay with whatever shows up when it shows up. We think that, life is happening to us. That's what we think, don't we? It's always happening for us, always for us. Every little thing that's ever happened in your life, whatever you're thinking about it, how you are thinking about it, if it means that you're feeling bad about it, you are resisting it. And in a state of resistance causes the suffering, because it's the reality. And now you're trying to resist that reality, and you're just putting another brick in the wall. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone want to make a comment or share anything? Let's hear it. Who's got their hand up? Erin, yes, please.
Thank you, Shan. Hello, everybody. It's so amazing to see you all here with us. I just really wanted to just echo everything that Sharon has been saying, and Nikki and Willem, your share really kind of resonated with me, because straight off the bat of being, should I say, woken up to, the teachings that we dived into in Mindfit, I started being able to handle my own situations that used to be triggers for stress and anxiety and like total meltdown in my life. And when I started investigating different life coaching courses and programs that I could be a part of, I went into it with this idea of searching for someone that was going to sit across from me and give me this guide of like a 10-step program or a 100-step program on how to live my life, how to plan my day properly. They were probably going to tell me that I needed to drink 3 liters of water a day, meditate for at least 10 minutes, 30 minutes, of all of that stuff that just was, that I could never kind of get a grip on because I felt like I needed to be doing it. And I have been completely blown away by the simplicity of what has been given to us with this program. It's a saying that comes up many times as we all get together, and we've been going through our sessions with Sharon. It's effortless effort. And since literally, I think even our first one-day intensive at the beginning of this course, which was, I don't even remember how many weeks ago now, there has been an immediate shift. life, instead of waking up wanting to hit the ground running and feeling overwhelmed by the pressures of just what the next 16 hours of a day looks like, has subsided, and I can honestly say that probably 99.9% of everything I do now, I do with a sense of peace. I feel grounded, and I just feel more focused on things. My anxiety it's almost non-existent. And I say almost because, as Sharon was explaining earlier, the natural part of life is to have those highs and those lows. This is not a plaster that you put over your life to say you're never going to have a bad day ever again. You're never going to have a bad thought ever again. But it's the awakening to how all of that interconnectedness affects your quality of overall life. And for me, it has been absolutely life-changing. And we spoke about it. We had our level 2 intensive for all of us that are moving more into a coaching phase. And I said, I feel like I've been given this amazing bundle of knowledge, and it's like the recipe to enjoying life. And I just want to pass it on to the next person, because it's something that I feel that I want people to experience as early on as life, so that they can let go of the struggle and everything else that goes with it, So I think if you've arrived here tonight, there's been something that has resonated with you. And I really, really invite you to explore that further, because this was probably one of the easiest and best yeses I have ever said in my entire life. And it's just shifted things in the most beautiful, beautiful way.
Yeah, thanks, Erin. Beautifully articulated. Thank you. And yeah, the effortless effort. It's like doing things that you love to do from a place that feels like you could just keep on going. And you've all had that experience. It's like when you just lose yourself in something and you like, wow, the time is gone. I haven't even eaten. I've just been enjoying it so much. So you've been, the word productive, whatever you want to use, but it hasn't felt like you're doing a job. I mean, I have been immersed in Mindfit since I designed it months ago. And not one day have I felt like I am like I used to. Not for one moment. It's just been so fabulous. And I know we're kind of singing the praises, but it is such a peaceful place, isn't it? Who else is here? Maybe Virginia. Do you want to just maybe tell us a little bit what you experienced, Virginia? Virginia's just been teaching yoga. She's been a yoga teacher. So she's got on late. Let's hear from you, Virginia.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay. I think, as you're saying, going back, it's just, doing these 3 principal courses, very much you as an individual, investing in yourself as a person, and you can never go wrong. It's just really adding value to yourself, adding value to your well-being, your innate well-being. And this is really doing the awakening, is going deeper into understanding yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, and what are your feelings and what are your thoughts? How do they correlate? And why are you feeling like that? So it really is, doing this course will take you to a deeper level of just making your life more simple, more simplistic, just flowing with synchronicity of life, and having a more inner peace, so to speak. Me being a yoga teacher, it's all about having inner peace and being still. And this is very much what this course also teaches, is really going to a deeper level of understanding and tapping into your innate well-being, so to speak, your inner peace, your wellness. It's very powerful. And I'm really, really enjoying the course. And I'm using what I'm learning in my Yin and Hatha yoga. And it's very powerful, so I would recommend doing the course if you're wanting to evolve as a person spiritually too. Definitely a really, really good course. And it's so simple, as Erin said, but very effective. It's very powerful. Sometimes less is more. And this is what I feel with this course. It's so simple, but just really powerful, very effective.
Thank you, Virginia. Yeah, beautiful.
Pleasure.
And I love that. It's the stillness, like Virginia said. Imagine operating with everything that you do in your life from a place of calm. Imagine, from a place of stillness. Now, we've all experienced that, but can you imagine what would happen if you take off the table the idea that this is going to be hard, it's going to be tough, it's going to be stressful, I'm going to be whatever. All of those, again, are made up ideas. Honestly, in the time that I've been doing this work, I have had not one exception to this rule. Nobody, ever, anywhere. We are feeling our thinking. That's it. That's all. That's what it is. Do you have any questions? Dee, I see you on and off camera. Maybe there's something you want to ask or no? Are you good?
Hello, Sha. No,
Hello,
nothing to
Dee.
ask. I was just sorting out the lighting. I must say, I love what Erin said. And from everything you've told me over the years, it's so true. Everything you share with us is a recipe for enjoying life. I just love that. And it's absolutely, she hit the nail on the head.
Lovely. Well, it's nice to have you here, Dee. Really lovely. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, let me tell you about the program. So we start off with a 3-day intensive, which is happening on the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th of August. That's when we start. So it's 3 days. We start at 9, finish at 4, except on the last day, on the Saturday, we will finish between 2:30 and 3. You are present with me and anyone else that wants to be a part of the program. And if you can't, we have recordings always. We record everything. It's lovely to be present because there are little exercises and breakouts over those 3 days that will deepen your understanding, take you to a level where you can feel what it is that we are talking about. After the 3-day intensive, you will get 8 lessons pre-recorded online. Plus, I've put in 2 bonus sessions. So you'll have 2 live sessions. So those pre-recorded lessons come with a workbook. And that workbook has got questions that will help you also to deepen your understanding. It's simple. It's not anything to worry about, but there are questions that might just maybe push you to the edges of your thinking, which is what we want. We want you to reveal to yourself who you are. Because how do you offer your fullness to anybody if you don't even know who you are? How can you give what you do not have? So it's so important to get that understanding. So 3-day intensive, 8 sessions, all in your own time. There's no behind. You do them when you want to do them with a workbook and 2 bonus sessions. And at the end of that, because it's awakening, it's new, I will hop on with you for another hour and a half, whatever we need, just to complete everybody and see where you are. Through that time, you'll be part of a group as well. I'll send you little podcasts and books that I think might be helpful. You have access to me anytime you want. And I would also like to have one of my interns, one of my coachees that are going through the program, just so that there's another point of reference for you. So that's how the program works. Everything is on the website. If you haven't seen it, you're welcome to go and look. We've got wonderful payment opportunities. And here's the very good news that I wanted to announce today. Because I offered scholarships for the first program, I'm doing the same thing here. So if you connect with me and you send me your application form, I will review it. It's not like you are more qualified than anyone else. Please don't think that. It's just maybe more of an intuition I get that maybe, you know, this person really needs a little bit of reprieve in their payments. And I will tell you if you are successful at that. So, and the program, for all intents and purposes, is not expensive at all. The comparisons that I've made, you would pay 3 times the amount that I'm offering this program to. And it's also the first year I'm running the program. So it's a really, really, really good price. So that's the fundamentals of the program. What I can also tell you is that you will start to feel from the very first hour that you do this, you will start to feel the shift. Am I right, Erin? There's something that happens inside of you. Why? Because I am speaking to the truth in you. That's why, because you already have it. I've said to you, you've got everything you need. So it's not like I'm trying to add anything onto you. What I'm really trying to facilitate is that we take off the layers that you've piled on. We peel away all the excess. We unlearn all the things that we don't need, all the beliefs that we've taken on over the years that are no longer serving us. They might have at some point. And in your innocence, you took that belief on because you thought it was the right thing to do. Not wrong. Given the thinking you had, that was the right thing to do at that time. But now you can see the revelation of the truth for yourself moment by moment by moment. And in real time, once you really understand this, and it doesn't take long, you'll see how that momentary idea, it's kind of like a little visceral gut. That's what it is. It's like a knowing, just settles in you. And there's a beautiful thing from one of the scriptures, and I'm not religious, but it says the peace that passes all understanding. When I realized that that's what it was like a wow moment for me. Like for no reason, you just have this sense of peace. Operating from that is really the effortless effort. It just feels so good and so easy. And the man who uncovered the principles, his name was Sydney Banks. He passed on maybe about 10 or 12 years ago only. And he said two things. All you're looking for on this journey of life, no matter what you do, two things, is the truth and a beautiful feeling. When you are not having a good feeling about anything you do, that's a red flag. It's like a sign. Like, think of it in this way. You're driving your car and there's a little indicator light that's flashing. It's telling you something is not right. Now, you don't take a plaster and put it over that light. You take notes of that, because if you don't, you're going to get stuck. You're going to run out of petrol or oil or whatever. Same with you. It's built into you, this internal little system that says, no, come back, not this way, not that way, here we go, in real time. Here's what we do most of the time. We want to make it turn out the way we want to see it turn out. And we're not in control, like trying to stop the rain. Because there is a purpose, a divine purpose for everyone. And you will find, and I don't care, I don't mind what you have been through. This program has worked with the maximum security prisoners in the US. There are people that still do that. With the juvenile delinquents that are going through the US system. It's worked for everybody. It does not matter what you have experienced. It is the truth and you will feel it. I don't know what more I can say about it than that, because it is just so unbelievably powerful. Any comments, any more questions, anybody, anything you want to ask? Anything you want to say you've heard that maybe you haven't heard before? Anything you want to challenge me on? I'm always up for that too. Observations? I can't believe that we've been going for 50 minutes. That's crazy. How did that go so quickly? So let me just hear how you feeling, what you're sensing. Anyone? You can even type in the chat box. Excited? Confused? Yes.
Quick question from me, Sha.
Yes.
For the 3-day intensive, I know you mentioned we have to be present, and then you mentioned the recording. So is it online? Is it in person?
Okay.
Just by...
So the 3-day is online, and you are present there. Preferably you are there, preferably. But I understand, life is happening and you just can't be there. If you can be there for at least 2 of the days or 1 of the day or half of it, whatever you can do is what you can do. But I must say, I'm sure you'll agree with me, Erin, to be there is so lovely, because you get to know the people that you're with, and you little breakout rooms and little exercises together. So you get a deeper experience if you can be there. But if you can't, you know, I fully understand that. Yeah. Thanks, T. Thanks for that one.
Sharon, it's
Bev.
Bev. Hello, how are
Hello,
you?
Bev. Good, and you?
Hi, good. So I just want to say I'm so excited, beyond excited, and cannot
Yay.
wait. And
Yay.
that's all I wanted to say. Just so excited. Thank you for
Lovely.
offering what I know is going to be beyond
Awesome.
incredible.
Awesome, Bev.
Thank you.
Awesome. Lovely. Thank you for that. I'm glad you're excited. I'm excited. I mean, I just love presenting this. It just gives me so much joy. It really, really does. Yeah,
And you feel that. So
oh,
thank you.
yeah. No, it's just beautiful. Is there anything that you heard in particular that makes you excited, Bev?
It just feels right and cannot wait. And as you said, the time
Okay.
is right, and
Yeah.
everything's just very exciting. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You know, if you're
Yeah.
being nudged, if there's just that little feeling like, oh,
Cool. Yeah.
yeah, it being called, lovely word. Yeah. Just like a little nudge. Yeah. Oh, yes. That's your wisdom. That's your internal system saying, take note, yeah. And that's what I
If we
feel.
listen. So yeah,
If we
looking
listen,
very forward.
Yeah, and you know, if you don't listen, that's okay. No, nothing's going to come beat you up with a stick and say you should have and you didn't. No, none of that. That's that old idea, that old paradigm, that crappy version of life that we no longer buy into. No, doesn't need to be that way at all. You write your
I'm
own
going to
rules.
mute myself again, but thank you. Can't wait. Yay. Thank you.
Marshi says, hi Sharon, really, really excited. I definitely look forward to developing spiritually and invest time and energy into myself. Awesome, Marshi, all the way from the wilderness out that side, Eastern Cape. Lovely. Thank you. And I look forward to that too, Marshi. Super duper. Anyone else? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask Erin just to put my email address into the little chat box. So if you want to open it up and you can capture it, if you don't have it, obviously you can find me online. You can just look up Mindfit Life Coaching Academy, and everything is there. Or you can even look up SharonCastleCoaching.com. There are cross references on both of those websites. You'll find my email address there. But if you want my cell phone number, have you got it there, Erin? There we go, Sharon at mindfitlifecoaching.com. Maybe you can just type in my cell phone number, 083 449 5670. You're welcome to directly call me anytime. And we can have a chat if you're thinking, sitting on the fence, not sure, or just want to ask questions or make a comment. Also good. There's my number on the screen there if you want to take it down. Okay, beautiful people. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being so present with me. And I really hope to see you on the program. You know, just connect with me. You know, get back to Erin if you want to. If you want to speak to another coach who's done the program or somebody who's already completed it, you're so welcome. I can give you 12 references at least. So awesome, Jen. Thank you. Sounds great. Sounds good to me as well. And then if that's all, and you don't think that you have any more questions, I'm going to say beautiful good night to you all. Thank you for being online. Thank you, Erin, for helping. Always my wonderful wing lady on the sides there, just getting things going. Sherry, coached by Nikki, and she said, just listen tonight. Absolutely glad that you listened. Glad she did. It's what you needed to hear. Fabulous. I love that. So thank you for being here, Sherry. So good night, everybody, and we'll see you when we see you. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you so much. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers.